Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card, which I am calling a corner pop-up card. Open it like that and you have the pop-ups inside. Okay, it'll stand up on your shelf like that. This was particularly popular about a year ago, but it has recently been enjoying a revival, so I thought I'd give it a try. I'm going to change my colour scheme and my bits and pieces. There are so many different ways that you can do this. I'm going to show you another two ways. This one, it's got the image that goes all the way across. You don't need to do it like that. So I'm going to tell you the card pieces that you're going to need to start off with. I will put all the measurements in the box below, and also in the box below I will put the measurements I give you will be the inches for people who use A4 size cardstock. In the box below I will also include the metric measurements and also the North American inches. So to start off with, they're all my scrap pieces. Not quite sure how many I'm going to need. My card base is in Poppy Parade, and this measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. You will need a template. Now I'm using very vanilla here. This is 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/4 inches, which is exactly the same size as the front of the card. And then you will need 2 pieces of Whisper White, one for the outside, one for the inside, and they should measure 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches. For the front of the card, you need a piece of Designer Series paper, and that should measure 3 5/8 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and for the inside 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches. Okay, so that one's a little bit smaller. If I do it that way you can see it. Okay, the Designer Series paper I'm using is called Very Delightful DSP, and it's one of the gifts that's available during celebration, which goes on till the 28th of February, so there's still a couple more weeks to go. First of all, what we'll do is we'll take what I've called Very Vanilla, my piece is Very Vanilla rather, the piece for the template, and you need to measure. I didn't bring my tape measure over, but never mind, let me get a pencil. Yep, got a nice sharp pointed one there. Let me just reach for this, and you need to make a template that measures across the top here. It is 3 1/2 inches. Now the size across here, this fold bit, doesn't really matter, and you can also do it so that instead of having the fold this side, you could do it that side. So along here it's 3 1/2 inches, and down here it is 2 3/4 inches. And then I'm going to write across here what size they are. So that was 3 1/2 inches, and this one here is 2 3/4 inches. And now we need to cut from there to there. So I'm going to use my trimmer for this. So just line that pencil mark with that pencil mark up in the cutting track. Make sure you can see me properly. Okay, so that one's in, that's in, that's in, that's in. Right, let's make sure that that doesn't move while I cut it. No, that's fine. Okay, so this piece is your actual template. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to do our folding on here, and we're going to be using our template to do this. What you need to do is place that so it fits on the corner brilliantly, and if you just take your pencil again, you might find it easier if you've got removable tape to put that on both sides so that it holds it in place for you. That's what I have done with the others. Oops. And all I'm going to do is a pencil mark there and at the bottom. Now I also need to do the same on the other side. So the easy way to do this so that you don't use the wrong side of that is just to take your template and put it at the back. Okay? It's like taking the mirror image, if you like, and then again I am going to just do a pencil mark there and a pencil mark there. So we need to score on those 2 points. There's 2 ways you can do this. One, you can use your ruler and your bone folder and just draw your lines like that. I prefer again to use my trimmer, and the thing is we need to score through 2 pieces of cardstock here. So what I like to do is I prefer to use my bone folder rather than my my score tool on there, and I line that pencil mark up into the cutting track and that one into the cutting track. There we go. And then I score. Okay, now that isn't enough to go through the other side properly, although that has come through pretty well. Can you see that? I don't know whether you can or not. I think you can, can't you? Yes. Okay, so now we're going to score down there. I'm going to pop that back in. I think I must have scored it a bit heavier than I did last time, because last time I couldn't see this at all. Okay. I thought something moved. That's it. There we go. So I've got the fold line there and the fold line there. So move that back out of the way again. Now we need to fold along that line and that line, and I find it best just to very gently bend this, encourage it to bend rather than just going full pelt at it and making it bend. That one needs to go in and this one needs to bend as well. And if you've done it correctly, in fact, let me remove those pencil marks first, otherwise I know me, I'll forget them. So that's those 2, that one and that one. Okay, so if you push that one down, these 2 folds that you've created, this should come up into a point. Those should fit, so your card fits together beautifully. If it needs a little bit of encouragement, don't be afraid to give it. And then use your bone folder to give that a good burnish. Turn it over and give that a good burnish as well. And then from the inside, you just want to give that one a burnish as well. Okay, so that's how our card is going to be working. So now we need to do our cardstock and our designer series paper. Right, so one of those, and the smaller DSP is for the front. Okay, so that's the smaller one, and these two are both inside. So I'm going to do this one first. Now this tells me this is the front, so which is the reason for doing that bit there. Now this bit, it's quite easy to actually cut along here. In fact, let me show you. If you draw all the way along, if you've got, it's definitely easier if you've got a big pair of scissors. So that's one cut, two cuts. Okay. That really is, you know, very, very straight. It may not be absolutely perfect, but it is amazingly straight. So you don't need that piece. Just do this one. And again, although this is smaller, that's fine. And we're going to cut that piece. That's it. Cut those. If you prefer to use your trimmer for this bit, obviously you could do. You would only need to just do the pencil mark at the top and the bottom. There we go, so don't need that piece either. So what we're going to find is that and that are going to go together like that, and it's going to be going on the front of our card like that. Right, so now we do the inside pieces. Now first of all, for this one, it's going to go here, so we're going to use this as before. Oh, I must check for my pencil marks on there as well. Okay. I'll keep that one. And then this one, we need it to go here. So we need this triangle to be cut. So if you flip this over again, always remember that the short side on your template goes on the short side of your designer series paper or your cardstock. The long side on your template goes on the long side of your cardstock or designer series paper. Okay, so I'm going to do that way. Now, that piece will fit in there nicely, but that piece is going to be miles too big. So what we're going to do with this one, and also the piece from the white, we're going to put them side by side. We're going to bring our trimmer back in again. Oops. And we are going to cut off 1/2 inch from the short side. Okay, so I'm going to put them both together. You may feel, in fact, let me move this up. Doubt if you can see that, can you? There we go. You may prefer to do this one piece at a time, which is fine. But I've put mine both together, and I am going to push hard to cut through this because I've got to get through 2 pieces. There we go. And now you will find that that will fit in really nicely. Okay, so that's all our cutting done. We can start putting our card together, and then all we need to do is decorate it. So how easy is that? Right, let me do this one first. You will see on this I have actually allowed 1/4 inch all the way around. I normally leave 1/8 of an inch between my white and my cardstock, my white and my Designer Series paper. But the first one I did on this, my test one, it didn't look very good because, well, one, it wasn't particularly straight. It wasn't as straight as it could have been. And I felt that you've only got to be a tad out and it would be really very noticeable. But I don't know, there was a video that I did a little while ago where, I don't know whose video I was casing, I think it might have been Iced Images, and she had used 1/4 inch gaps, and I thought that hers looked much better than having the closer one. I did say I was going to change over, but it wasn't until I started doing this that I'd remembered I'd said that. Right, I'm going to cover up my strawberries. If you're a customer in the UK, and you will know all about the problems we've had with deliveries since Brexit, well, I'm very, very pleased to tell you that things are getting back to normal. At the moment, delivery seems to be anything between about 8 and 12 days, which is a lot longer than we are used to. But I don't know whether that's going to be the permanent new normal, because they've still got a big backlog that they need to deal with. So it may speed up from that. Like my December order, which really got caught up in the system, I had to wait 6 weeks for that. So that was a little bit stressful, shall we say. But my customers have been absolutely brilliant. They were so patient and so understanding. Right, now this one I'm going to put on here. That looks as if it's a little bit out. Right, let's do the inside pieces. I'll do this one first. And the other thing I wanted to say was, now that things are getting back to normal, we've only got 2 weeks left of celebration. So if there's anything that you've got your eye on, please feel quite happy to place your orders now, because it will come through in a sensible amount of time. I know a lot of people have been holding back on placing orders, which is perfectly understandable. Oh, there we go. That's it. When you put that one on, just eyeball it so that that looks as if it's forming a square. You've got the same gap all the way around the edges, and that one there as well. Yep, that's that one. I didn't do an extra layer on the inside of my card. You know how I always like my top layer and my middle layer, because I thought it would be far too much trying to get the card closed. My glue's oozing out there, so it will dry clear, but it will also dry shiny if it's left there, so that's okay. I've forgotten what I was going to say then. As I say to my husband, it'll come back if it's important. If I'm rambling, you'll be glad that I've forgotten it. Oops, no, go back. There we go. Almost like ban the bomb sign, isn't it? Right, quite unintentional, of course. Right, now, with the bits about down here, now that one I said it's got like the long strip. The one that I'm using for today is the stamp set called Zany Zebras. I've already stamped these out, and there are two ways of doing this. One, you can fussy cut them, and then you can adhere them like this, okay, which is probably how I'm going to do mine. Or if you're not into fussy cutting, because there aren't dies for this, you can do them, die cut them with an oval, and then do a Poppy Parade scalloped circle for it to sit on. What you need to bear in mind is when you're doing this, if you place your card on your grid paper, whatever you do on here has got to stay within there to get inside your envelope. If you're in the UK, we are quite lucky in as much as our envelopes are quite a bit bigger than the basic card size. So in fact, if I hold that like that, okay, so you'd be able to go over that much and that would still go in there. And we've got quite a lot of extra on the side here, so if you wanted to come down here, that would still go in. Alright, so you've got a choice. You can either do your fussy cutting, or you can do ovals like this and put a liner on it. Would you be able to put two on? Oh yes, you could do, couldn't you? That would look quite nice. So it doesn't leave you much of a gap for your sentiment. You could do it like that, couldn't you? That would look quite nice as well. If they're both on Poppy Parade scalloped ovals as well, and then just a little sentiment in there, that would look nice. But as I say, I'm using my fussy cut ones. I think for this I want these two. The other thing I wanted to point out was if you do something like this and you're colouring it, like for example you could use the donkey stamp set, this one, which I toyed with the idea of. This is another gift that's available in Celebration, so if you've got your eye on this, you have 2 weeks left in which to get it. If you do something like that and you do colour it and you're using blends, do remember that the cardstock is going to bleed. So what I've done with this one, I die cut another shape the same as that, and I adhered it on the back. Okay, so you can always do that. I don't think you'd be able to do it if you had fussy cut. I certainly wouldn't be able to fussy cut something exactly the same again. But you could, if for example you were using the oval ones, if you coloured that and it came through, especially if you put your scallop bit on the back, that would cover it up. So there are options. So I'm going to just adhere this on here. I'm just going to put some glue on his feet. Should I put a little bit on his tummy as well? Yeah, I think so. In fact, it can come up a little bit more on his tummy. There we go. Okay, yeah, so that looks alright. And then this one. There's a little conversation going on between these two. So if I do him round about there, so it's just above his feet, okay. Did his tail get stuck down on here? Or will it? Oh yes, that's okay. You could put these on with dimensionals if you like. Put this in position. Nope, that's too high. Right, I'm now going to have glue there that I need to remove. And that I think will be okay. Let's have a look. Come down a bit more. I did say just above his hoof, didn't I? You see, I don't pay any attention to myself. There we go, that's better. So that looks right. They're having a good conversation. I need to do a sentiment, which I'll do in a moment. Now inside the card, which one shall I use? I think I'll use this one. And if I put him like that, what I thought was I could put another one down here or up there. In fact, if I do him like that, then he can be looking at him. Are they the same too? I think they are, aren't they? What about you? I think I'd prefer him up there. Does it matter if he's at an angle? No, I don't think so. Okay, let's do him first. When you, whatever you decide that you're using in here, what you need to pay attention of is when the card closes, that it doesn't come out over the bottom. But this is quite a way away from coming close to the bottom. Okay. So let me just do the bottom half of his body, I think. I wouldn't use dimensionals on the inside of the card, especially if the card is going to be posted, because that would really help to bend the front of the card. I'm trying to think and do this as a think and speak at the same time. Never a good idea. Right, there we go. So if I put that one there, that looks quite good. I don't know if you can get the same view as I do. When I look at it like that, they really do look as if they're looking at each other. Okay, I'm happy with that. Right, that blob on the tail is a bit too much, so just dab that off. Oops, my tissue's just gone flying on the floor. There we go. I like that. I'm pleased with that. Right, sentiment. I have chosen to use birthdays are the best days, which is one of those sentiments I've used loads and loads. I can't think what stamp set it was. I must have, oh yes, here we go. It's from Beautiful Friendship, this one here, because I thought that would have quite a space left here that I need to be filled up. If you use the oval ones, obviously you'd need a much smaller sentiment in there. So I've already got my Stamparator set up. I'm going to put a stamp set, in fact I might as well use the same one, underneath that. Already lined up my scrap. I'm going to do this in black Memento ink. No, I didn't press that, did I? It's still got all the black on it. That's better. And give that one more. Yes, that's lovely. Happy with that. Right. So now I am going to die cut that. Did I decide what I'm using? I think I did, didn't I? I think it was circle die and the stitched shapes. Was that the one? This is where I keep any that I've stamped beforehand and just didn't get round to using it. Yeah, that's the same size. Just about gets in. Okay, I can do that. So let me bring my big shot over. So I'll do that, and I'll also put it onto a Poppy Parade. Should I do a Poppy Parade? Or should I do black? Poppy Parade, I think. Scalloped circle. And I didn't bring those out. I brought the ovals out instead. Right. Let me have a look. There we go. I quite often get asked about my storage system for my dies. If you want to know what it is, blah blah, how I use it and everything, please check out my video, which is number 273, I believe. I'll put a link in the box below. And is that one okay, do you think? That's 2-4. So that must be number 5. Number 5's too big. Yeah, I don't want that much. Okay, those two. Because what you get is the plastic wallets, and you get the sheet of magnet, but on its own the sheet is really very, very flimsy. But I always put a piece of cardstock on the back there, because I put one of my die cuts on the back as well, and that way it's brilliant, absolutely superb. I've been using this system now for a few years now, I suppose, and I think it works really well. Right, so I've had that with that one. And some Poppy Parade. I'll that be big enough? Where's the die? Oh, right on the inside. Okay. Oh, my handle needs oiling. I don't take any notice of that when I'm here by myself, but doing a video, my goodness, it sounds really loud. There we go. Let's move this out of the way. If I pop that on there, it's only just big enough, isn't it? That's okay. I don't think I would have liked the really big one. I will sort that out after the video. It's got a little bit gunky. Block that off again. I wonder if I should have used black for that. What do you think? Would have made it a bit more obvious, wouldn't it? But I would need the big one. No, I'm going to stay as I am. If I can find some dimensionals. That's it. That's all I'll need for that. There we go. Straighten the bin. Now, where would this be best? About there? Yes, and I did beforehand tie a couple of little bows. I will try, it's not the right colour, that's real red and this is Poppy Parade, but it's a minor difference, I don't mind. I will try and fold one for you, but it's very difficult with my lockdown false nails on. So what I do is keep that flat, and that's one bunny ear, and I make another bunny ear over this side, and again I keep that flat. Okay, so I've got the two tails on the outside, and then I'm going to fold them over so that I've got the bunny head underneath, and I am going to fold one ear underneath and pull it through his head, and then just let the ribbons go, don't let them twist. You go back, go back. As I say, it is difficult with these nails, but you can see I did two of them. Let's try tightening this up a bit. Oh, for goodness sake, come on, behave yourself. Good job I did two beforehand, isn't it? Right, I'm going to hold that tight because that should hold the knot tight. Let's see if I can sort out the bend. Now, which one's bent? That one has. So that's got to... Oh, it's underneath, isn't it? Oh, did I straighten it? Well, once you've got that far, and as long as you are straight, you just pull like that, because you need little bows for the little zebras. And there we go. Wow, well done. I'm not sure that I actually need this. Where's my ribbon and scissors? Here we go. Nearly finished that. It is a retired ribbon, I have to say. I would like Stampin' Up to have a basic ribbon in all the colours, and for those basics to stay in the catalogue always. What do you think? Do you think that would be a good idea? Where's the... oh, here we go. I need a glue dot, I think. Right, let's get one. I think that'd probably be too big for the... yep. So let's try and fold that in half. Yep. I'm going to put it on the back there. Some on the knot, some not on the knot. And that's going to go on his neck. And just cut this off. And cut that off. You see, it would be nice if I could have a black bow for him. I'm sure years ago Stampin' Up used to have I can't think what name the ribbon was, but they had it in all colours. Well, it's not as if this is like a romantic card, is it? So it doesn't matter if they're both girls. Could be a boy who likes red. Right, folded that in half. And pop that half on the knot and half off the knot. I'm not sure I can get that on. Yes, I can. I'll be tickling his nose. Let's see if I can tilt it a bit for him. That's okay. So there we go. Should we have the other one on here? What do you think that would look like? No, definitely not. So there we go. That's today's project. I hope you like it. I think the bows just finish off those little fellas. I could put some rhinestones or something, but no, I'm happy. And it's like that on the inside. I hope you like this, and I really hope you give this a try. It's a bit poppy up, but this, oh, that's what I was saying, wasn't it? Why I didn't do the double layers in there. It's because if I'd had white behind that one, and in fact I would have done different colours if I'd had other liners in here, but there would have been 3 on that side, 3 there, 3 there, 3 there, 12 pieces all inside. There's no way that would have worked. So there's that one, and there's that one. And don't forget, if you're colouring your images, if you're using blends, cover the back so that that can't be seen. With the bits that we did discard, now I'm not bothered about this bit, but you could trim these down so that they fitted on the inside there. Okay, but it could be done. Many thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you give it a go. I will, as I say, leave all the measurements and all the products that I've used in the box below the video. There will be inches for A4 cardstock users and also North America cardstock users, and also the metric. I'll also put a link for all the products, and it will take you to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. If you do shop with me, first of all, thank you very, very much. And secondly, when you place your order, please remember to use the HOSTESS code so that I can send you a HOSTESS gift at the end of February, beginning of March. It's free. It'll be a free product that you receive. You'll also receive a free handmade thank you card from me, unused, with an envelope, and also a handmade gift from me as well. That's my token of appreciation to you for choosing me as your demonstrator. If you've enjoyed my video and would like to be notified each time I upload a new one, please click on the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner there, and then click on the bell so that you get the notifications. Don't forget that it is celebration for the next 2 weeks. I think today, the day that I'm publishing the video, is the 14th of Valentine's Day, that's right, 14th February. So that's 14 days left till the celebration finishes, where you can get the designer series paper that I've used and the donkey stamp set that I showed you, and they are gifts for qualifying orders. Okay, lots of other things you can choose from as well. There's also a special promotion for people who join Stampin' Up, whether you join as somebody just to get the discount or as a business builder like me. The special promotion is you get an extra 200 sheets of 6x6 designer series paper, and they will be in all the colours, including one pack of all the 4 family colours, and also one of the in colour sets as well. So there'll be 200 sheets, so you'll have at least, like the idea of my ribbon, I'd like to have one of every colour. At least you'd have designer series paper in all the colours. And I think that's probably about it. I look forward to seeing you next time. In the meantime, please take care, stay safe, happy crafting, cheerio.